Happy Friday football. Happy Friday to everyone in the sports universe. It is March the 10th, 2023. This is like take 3 or 4 of trying this today. um, for Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvelis. Aaron, how you doing, sir?
I was doing great until you couldn't get right today.
This is sad.
Uh,
I had
I,
merch on.
I think it is kind of a Friday football frenzy of sorts because there's a lot going on in the sports world. Everything from Aaron Rodgers to freaking who Colin Kaepernick's trying to snake his way back in the news too. So, um, yeah, I mean it's just one of those days. Like I don't even know how to digest everything that's going on in sports right now, from football to basketball to freaking ESPN and their shenanigans at this point.
I know you can't digest it, but swallow it whole and then poop it out, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm about to poop out sports in general, but
Boo!
this is why the off seasons, like, I don't love the fact that football is a year-round calendar sport, because the off season is met with many shock jock kind of stories at this point.
Fair. Go to MikeandAaronDrive.com for more great. If you agree or disagree with Aaron or myself, just buy our stuff anyways, because we're broke. I'm broke. He's not.
Yeah, buy our stuff and light it on fire if you disagree with our stuff, but just make sure you
send videos of that, please.
Yeah, hey, jersey burnings, hoodie burnings, tumbler. Well, this would be hard to burn, but tumbler burnings.
Aaron Burns, pow. Okay. Let's get to this one. This is huge. Wow. Kyrie Irving is in. You see the screen right now. Kyrie Irving is insane, and the reason I say that is because he said in part, oh, this is so dumb. How am I free knowing kids are working in cobalt mines in the Congo making Teslas? I don't even. I'm sorry. Listen, at one point, it's like, remember when Kanye, like the whole Kanye thing was going on? He kind of shut up now, but when the whole Kanye outbreak of him just going on shows was going on, he was it was almost like he felt sorry for picking on him. After a while, I was like, does he really need help? This Kyrie dude, and the fact there's people that back him is absolutely insane to me. But what is he talking about? And if this is true, who cares? Aaron, it goes back to my vaccine point. If you're a friend of the show, I've told people a million times, Kyrie was not anti-vax because of his own body or his own choice, like people on one side of the political spectrum like to see. That's not what he was doing. He was being somebody he's not, some spokesman, or as he put it, voice for the voices. This does not matter. Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving. He's Kyrie Andrew Irving because we watch him play basketball. This show's never going to get going. I swear to God. Aaron's back. Aaron is back. But it's crazy.
Yeah, that was weird.
I know. Don't worry about it. The fact is, Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving because he's a basketball player. So either retire or shut up and dribble. How about that? How's that? I'm tired of it. I really am. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and call me whatever you want. I don't care anymore. I really don't. Not for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, like, I defended Kyrie in the vaccine situation because of, like you said, his body, his choice kind of thing. I know that's a hot slogan, but I defended it. I defended him individually because I'm like, look, you have the right to do whatever you want, even if there are consequences, and you have to, be a part of those consequences, which I believe the consequences were stupid, but that's neither here nor there. That's a 10-hour show,
Amen.
But point being is you're right. I mean, look at this.
Well, this is getting annoying. Aaron said, look at this. How? And he should be back in about 3 seconds. He's back again.
How am I popular at 6 o'clock in the morning? Who is calling me? Leave me alone.
Put on do not disturb. Is that what this is? The whole time I thought it was a connection issue, you fool.
No, it's not even a connection issue. Like, it's people calling at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is a problem when you do the show on your phone, but
wow, go ahead.
Yeah, no, at this point, how are you free? Okay, I understand you're trying to fuck.
Well, folks, I think what Aaron is trying to say, actually, I don't know what he's trying to say. I think it's fun to see. We're going to MikeandAaron.com. I know he's there. It's okay, Aaron. Welcome back again.
I swear there's something in the Matrix going on.
In the world.
I mean, how are you free? You are free. You are sitting here at a basketball. I don't even know when he said, like, a press conference or a post-game thing. Like, yeah, I get it. There are some, injustices going on. But, like, what a weird thing to pick. Cobalt mines in the Congo making you sit here with enough money for generational wealth for probably 5 of your next 5 generations, or actually the rest of your generational line if they play their cards right. Like, so if you have this problem, then why don't you just quit playing basketball now and start going to actively try to get these kids out of cobalt?
Exactly.
Like, don't sit here and try to be some kind of martyr. Like, you're not Mother Teresa. Like, this is such a joke. And I sent you the text last night when I saw this. I'm like, it begins. It's literally going to be the unraveling of Dallas. What are they, 3-7 since he's gotten there?
And they're like 1-5 with Kyrie and Luka playing together or some crap like that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a complete bum as a basketball player.
He really is. And people love the fancy dribbling. I'm like, and? Okay, and?
So what? So go join the And One tour if it's still a thing. Like, he is. I don't understand. I mean, do they know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results?
Hey, Dictionary Aaron, that was good.
Quit enabling people to continue to have a control on you. And that's one of the reasons, it's more Dwight Howard, but it's one of the reasons I quit watching the NBA a decade ago. And it was so far less ignorant 10 years ago than it is now.
That's a lot of nuggets from you. Speaking of nuggets,
I'm heated today. There's a lot of ignorance going on in sports right now,
which is really sad because I thought we got with sports to get away from that, but who knows? Nikola Jokic is the MVP front runner, but for what does that say for being white? No, wow. This is almost like a few days old, but it's still relevant because nobody will shut up about it. Kendrick Perkins basically said because the voters are 80% white or whatever, then that means that Jokic is going to win 3 MVPs in a row. Nick Wright, to his credit, is just saying people are just stupid. Like the same people who said that he was a 6 seed last year are saying he's the 1 seed this year. Like, you can't use both arguments. The fact is, Nikola Jokic, I don't agree with him being MVP. I really don't. I feel like I will say he's the most. This is going to sound really weird. He's the most Lamar Jackson player in the NBA. Does that make sense? Because they have to do everything on his team to cater to him. You can't just, like Kevin Durant, you plugged him to the Suns. He went off until he sprained his ankle in practice or in warm-ups.
No, I get that. I mean,
Jokic literally just stands there, looks for the correct pass, and does it.
Yeah, but where are the Nuggets? Where are the Nuggets if Jokic goes down for the season?
Where's Lamar Jackson? Where's the Ravens? We see what happens to them.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, I know we're going to get to Jackson, and of course, Lamar Jackson is critical to the Ravens, which made him an MVP one year, despite not throwing for over 3,000 or just barely throwing for over 3,000 yards, which we know actually just mediocre to average in today's NFL. Anyways, with Nikola Jokic is the problem is that if you look at it, honestly, his season last year probably was less deserving of an MVP than this year.
Agreed.
I mean, if we're going to give Russell Westbrook the MVP for averaging a triple-double when he was, I think they were the 6th seed that year and they got bounced then we have to give it to a center who's averaging a triple-double on the number 1 seed. And not only the number 1 seed, the number 1 seed by 7 or 8 games?
Right.
Like, with a team of I don't even know. Is Michael Porter Jr. even playing?
He is, but I mean, he's never lived up to potential.
And I know that Jamal Murray's having a better year because one, he's
finally.
But I mean, the fact of the matter is the fact that ESPN and their standard agenda pushing had to come on and make Molly Karam issue somewhat of a retraction. It wasn't actually a retraction. She basically came on and said, Kendrick provided some false information saying that 80% of MVP voters are white when that's not actually true. If that was an apology, then that was just ridiculous. But now they're trying to bend it on Twitter to where, when he says, Dirk, Steve Nash, and Jokic all won the MVP, what do they have in common? Well, of course, all of the people who side with Perk were like, well, the first thing that came into my mind is that they're foreign players. Yeah, that's what he implied. Okay, buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that like the people in Slovenia, like Luka, the people in Serbia like Nikola Jokic, people in Germany like Dirk are now being called white is really comical. I love how like to me some huh?
It's whatever you need to do to fit your narrative. I was having conversations with people about with Lamar Jackson and some others thing about being highest paid quarterbacks. And we're like 4 out of the 5 quarterbacks who are highest paid are black. And then some guy claps back at me and says, well, let's stop saying that Patrick Mahomes is exclusively black. He's
annoying.
I mean, it's like Patrick Mahomes is black when you need him to fit your Super Bowl winning quarterback and MVP narrative.
Oh.
But you need him to fit your highest paid players in the league narrative. Now, let's not make him exclusively black. I mean, come on. This shit's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, the ignorance and stupidity of what we talk about, like what they talk about here. And I know Twitter is a cesspool and it's not, but this shit spills over. Like, these people still are members of society and probably have real conversations about this stuff. And
because of these idiots, I agree, because of these idiots in sports.
To blindly back something based on skin color or because the person of your skin color said it is absolutely ignorant. If Jokic didn't win the MVP this year, I think it's probably a little bit ridiculous. I mean, the fact that the center's averaging a triple-double. But last year, I could see the fact that, like, okay, a 6 seed, they got bounced. I know it's a regular season award, but it was probably last year where you guys missed the boat on him not really actually being MVP. Like, and then somebody telling me, oh, this year it's supposed to be Embiid's turn. It's like, it's not a turn thing. It's not, oh, it's your turn to win MVP. That's not how shit works. Like, I don't care if I'm old man yells at cloud. This is just like, are you
so be it? I'm yelling the clouds and I'm flying on them.
Dumbing down sports and excellence based on race and having a turn and equity. I mean, this is what we're coming to in sports. Like, we're not even recognizing the greatest, center season maybe of all time since Wilt Chamberlain, because he's white. I mean, imagine if this was, I don't know, Rudy Gobert doing this. He's not even black. He's French. Like, come on.
I know. Well, that's the point I was going to make is I've read people like on Twitter, like who are Asians that are like we laugh. Like, why is no one talking about us?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like, why is it only one race that has to be equally represented? You're right. This is such a multicultural melting pot. I think is there any Hispanic people in the NFL?
I don't think so, but Hispanic people get the you-know-what word pass.
I don't care about the you-know-what word.
I'm just saying.
I don't understand why you even want to associate with that word. Not you specifically, but like
right.
Calling yourself Eddie, that's a whole nother bag of worms. I don't care about that. That's right. My point is just like, there's no outcry for the representation from, like you said, Asian American communities and
Asian Mexican. Just say it.
Yeah, Asian American, Mexican American, Hispanic American. I mean, it extends to, it's not just Mexico. There's other countries of origin that have, emigrated to the U.S. My point is just like, we're looking at one. It's insane. And now for Kendrick Perkins to keep a job, firstly, after this, secondly, he's awful. His takes are absolutely terrible.
Right, he doesn't even speak right sometimes. Like he doesn't make sense. Like his thoughts are not coming out properly. It's weird.
When king of terrible takes and shock jock TV, Stephen A. Smith thinks you messed up. You messed up.
Yeah, Stephen A. That was funny watching him back JJ Redick on that.
Yeah, JJ cooked Kendrick Perkins, man.
That was great.
He's probably gonna get kicked off the show, but I'm glad he did it.
By the way, to tell you how stupid this area of the world is, I don't say this country, I don't even be patriotic or anything, but to say, can you imagine if I was Chinese if I said like, well, he's Chinese because he was Japanese and he looked like me. Realize how dumb you look over there? Just because you looked Asian, like they don't even like to be grouped together in the same category. So because that's how dumb the skin color thing is. Why is it that Jokic is white? He's Serbian. They don't even live like us over here.
Yeah, like what does white even mean? Like
I don't even know what snow is over here, crying out loud.
Well, we have look at it look at our vice president. Our vice president is, I believe, half Asian and Jamaican, but they call her African American. It's like that doesn't even make sense
at all.
She's not African American.
She's American. That's about it.
Yeah, we're all American. Like that's the thing. Like at some point, this country has to be cohesive and just say, "Look, we're all American. Let's move forward." Like
bingo.
Everything being an identity thing. Like Nikola Jokic, this is the year. Like this is the year your argument perk doesn't hold water. You could have made this argument. I mean, I don't want you to make this argument, but if you were going to make this argument, last year was the time. It ain't this year.
Amen. Let's take a break. That was boring. We're going to talk about football next, and I guess there is a little bit more on that side, but hey, we're talking about it because we don't care. It's the AM Drive. I got a countdown. Aaron does not. We'll be right back. Yay.
All right, welcome back here to the AM Drive on this Friday football. Frenzy is the right word.
Friends, yeah, right.
Frenzy is the right word here. We're presented by Fanatics. You can see it right there in the corner. If you love sports, which I would imagine you do if you're watching this,
used to.
You need to go to mikeandaarondrive.com, click that link at the Fanatics. It says click the F, and that's what you do. But it takes you into Fanatics, where you can buy all the your favorite team's swag, merchandise, memorabilia, apparel, etc. And they always have great deals. I know Mike's always on top of those deals. But make sure that you go to mikeandaarondrive.com first before you go to any of the shopping part of your experience.
Sounded good in your head.
It sounded good in my mind. It came out wrong. But basically, long story short, Fanatics, mikeandaarondrive.com. Click it, love it, shop it, help us out.
Good job. Lamar Jackson. So do you like the R word again?
Yeah, it's
because when you say the word collusion, I guess that something means racism or something.
Yeah, it's become such a dead word at this point.
I believe, to be fair about this Lamar Jackson thing, the teams are like kind of backing out. I do believe there's, to an extent, it is some collusion. Because owners are not don't want to keep on giving people all this money, and then last 2 years get hurt before the playoffs start. I wonder who that happened to. It escapes my mind. Remind me. But
I will remind you. Look down on your screen there.
Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson. So there you go. So they don't want that to happen. I don't know if it's the R word. I don't think the definition implies that, but some people it does. But do you think it's that? Or I lean towards it's a little bit of collusion. Not that I think it's a big conspiracy theory. I think it's more of teams aren't stupid. Okay, the Browns were stupid, and they know they're stupid.
Yes.
Because now he's stunk it up last few games that he actually played. Okay, and that was not the same quarterback we saw. Teams want to avoid that. So I don't even know it's collusion. It's maybe like learning from the people before you who sucked.
Thank you.
Is that what you were going to say? Go ahead.
It's precedence. When you set a precedence, you have to learn from that precedent. It doesn't make it the norm. You know? It's that's what I've been trying to say. Like with this, it's obviously not racism. I can understand it's a brand of collusion. It's more of a group think. These are people. They didn't get to where they are by being dumb. So they look at the Browns, who, okay, if I do have to call anyone dumb, it's the Browns organization.
Funny name. To
say there was a bidding war and that they had to give up 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Yeah, they were dumb. I mean, you clearly saw. I actually think that they were the highest bidder at one point and then outbid themselves for his services because Carolina and Atlanta both stepped out after a little while. And Miami, I think, never, while he wanted to go there, it never really was in play. Talking about Deshaun Watson. And then to turn around and give him a fully guaranteed contract when there was a chance he may never play football again.
Like, twist the knife.
Like, people, owners were mad. Like, this was stupid because they knew exactly what would happen. You set a precedent that we don't want. We don't want a quarterback that could potentially miss time, be it allegations, injuries, etc. We don't want fully guaranteed money. Now, of course, the people will come back with, well, Kirk Cousins got a fully guaranteed.
Who cares?
Yes, that was $83 million. This is 250 to 300. This is a third of $1 billion, $250 million.
It's 3 times more than 3 times more.
Yes, for a quarterback that for the last 3 years has not played for the last 2 years has not played a full season, has also sat out a playoff game that many people allegedly believe he could have played in. We don't know the full answer to that.
Because he wants all the money. Yeah, you're right.
Only the Ravens and Lamar Jackson know the real answer to that. And I think by the Ravens not going all in kind of gives us a little bit of an answer here in this point. Okay, let's look at Kyler Murray. Somehow, some way, Kyler Murray has a charm spell on the Arizona Cardinals. He does. For him to get $189 million guaranteed is problematic. It's ridiculous. The guy can't even study film. You can't even get the guy. And then all of a sudden, when you put this film clause in, his feelings are hurt. Like, this is where we're at now. We're at a bunch of snowflakes playing quarterback in the NFL. And then they come out, and then you have Richard Sherman come out. Well, if this was Joe Burrow, there would be offers. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But
if Joe Burrow was acting like that, then people would call him out too.
Probably so. Absolutely. But at the same time, Joe Burrow has also been to the AFC Championship or better the last 2 seasons. Yes, he tore an ACL in his rookie year. I understand that. ACLs, pretty much, people, guys are coming back from those at this point with modern medicine. But let's look at another token. Lamar Jackson, has to negotiate with teams. So if you're a team and you write up a beautiful contract for Lamar Jackson, you get everything all in place. Lamar's happy. He loves you. You love Lamar. Well, the Ravens come in and they just go, thanks, appreciate that. And they pluck it and they sign him to the tender. And now he's a Baltimore Raven. So if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I just did all that legwork for nothing. I just made the Ravens. I just did the Ravens homework for them. Like, the Ravens would be the person who didn't do any work in the group project and got the A instead because they got Lamar Jackson. Secondly, there are probably thirdly, I guess, I don't know where I'm at here at this point, but there's probably a lot of teams that either don't have 2 first-round picks to give up or don't feel that Lamar Jackson with his injury status is worth 2 first-round picks at this point.
And the money, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's not even with the money. But yeah, I believe Lamar Jackson's worth 2 first-round picks? Yes. I believe that the New York Jets should be entertaining Lamar Jackson more so than they should be entertaining Aaron Rodgers. I know we'll talk about him in a second. I believe that a lot of these teams would probably be happy to give up 2 first-round picks for him. But they also don't want to give you a fully guaranteed contract, Lamar. No part of this has anything to do with the fact that you're black.
Yep.
This has to do with the fact that you maybe aren't the best, employee. You can't, not on the field, and now you've done this in the media, with the media. And not only that, you're not even being represented by an agent.
That's what I'm glad you mentioned that last, because I'm telling you, the agent thing is huge and no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah. If doing your own deals and all this stuff was that easy, then 99.9% of the NFL wouldn't have agents. They wouldn't. They obviously matter. Yes, they command a healthy portion of your contract, but they matter.
Right.
So it's just like, at no point is any of this say racism, but this is just where we go as society. And it's absolutely and 100% ignorant. It is. It's 100% ignorant. No part of this is a racial thing. The teams aren't colluding to not sign Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's black. Let's get him. Like, who cares?
If the NFL was racist, 4 out of the top 5 starting quarterbacks would not be black. Like, this is just absolutely and utterly ridiculous. But this is the world, unfortunately, that we've sunk to.
Agree with that. And with the Lamar and Aaron Rodgers thing, you're right. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, from darkness to the Jets, the greatest tweet I read from this whole thing was, who goes into darkness and comes out, boy, I want to play for the Jets. But hey, apparently when Jimmy has all them people with the Jets meet with you after you go to Oregon, and you come out thinking a little bit green, and then the Jets who are green come and get you. This is weird because Aaron Rodgers is not worth it anymore. I'll be the first one to say years ago that one bad season does not define a player. But if this is when he wants to leave, then it does define him. Because that's what's fresh on everybody's mind, is that he just wasn't good last year. And you can blame, I try to blame the rookie wide receivers, but that's also part of Aaron Rodgers' fault. Is whether or not he fell off physically, the fact is he didn't want to get these guys better like Tom Brady would have. So regardless of what I think of his talent. So I think it's wild to me that he actually, I feel like the Packers, what are they trying to trade him or whatever? I think like he's going to be like $65 million in Green Bay. Why would you want to change that? Like, you're not winning. I don't think Jets are going to win a dang thing. I don't even know if they're going to the AFC Championship game if you plug him into the Jets. I just don't think that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, well, it looks like, based on reading a lot of the stuff regarding his contract, he's going to make $60 million wherever he goes.
Heck yeah.
Who's actually going to pay that? The Jets are trying to get the Packers want first round picks, and the Jets are basically saying, if you want first round picks, you're going to need to eat a lot of this $60 million, maybe half, maybe more. If you want 2 first, you're going to need to eat more, which is I talked to our buddy Sammy Action, who took himself off the sports ban temporarily. We made a wager. I said that I said that Aaron Rodgers would go for no first round picks, like picks that are worse, I guess, theoretically. But I also believe I can lose that bet if the Packers are willing to eat salary. The Packers are done with him. They were probably done with him 2 years ago, but he was still winning MVPs then. At this point, the Packers are going to see what they have in Jordan Love before they have to decide on their option with him. And I don't understand even going to the AFC at all, but I know that the Packers will never trade him to an NFC team.
I think he's staying with the Packers.
What's that?
I think he's staying with the Packers, to be fair.
I thought that probably like 2 or 3 days ago, but I just don't think that. I don't think the Packers, and I don't think the Packers fans want him anymore. I don't.
Who cares?
I would have said, if I'm Aaron Rodgers at this point, I'm looking at it like, I don't really see a spot where I can go in there. Realistically, if I'm, even if I'm slightly better than I was last year, I don't see a spot where I can go in there in the AFC, especially,
and win the locker room back over too.
Well, just to win a Super Bowl, because I can't see him really even playing. I mean, maybe 2 seasons, but I really think it's just a 1 season thing. Like,
what if he goes to the 49ers and guess who doesn't?
Well, he's already ruled him out.
That's sad.
He already vocally said he doesn't want to go there because he's pissed off that they didn't draft him in 2005 when they drafted Alex Smith.
That's dumb. It's a completely different regime too, which is weird.
Of course, not ownership, but like GM all the way down is completely different. But it's. I mean, can you see him walking into any team in the AFC that is quarterback needy and them actually being Super Bowl contenders? No.
I don't even see him getting the conference championship.
Yeah, so like if I'm Aaron Rodgers, this is just me. I'm staying in the place that's familiar. Yeah, we might have a little hot and cold relationship, but if this is my last year, I'm going on a farewell tour.
Just reminder that if you're the Jets, if you go to the Jets, you have one misstep in a press conference, and they're going to wear T-shirts that say Zach freaking Wilson.
Yeah, and the thing is
and that to me, I've never understood why people didn't just glossed over that like it was nothing, or that team is not completely weird and corrupt inside.
Well, there's a reason they've been a poverty franchise for a while too.
Yep.
But okay, let's take the viewpoint of the Jets here. If I'm the Jets and I have to give up 2 firsts and $60 million for Aaron Rodgers, you remember that guy we just talked about, Lamar Jackson? I'm going to give it to him.
Yep.
I'm not giving it to Aaron Rodgers. I'm giving it to him. I mean, you want to talk about collusion or the R word or anything? It's not any of those things. Lamar Jackson is an absolutely incredible athlete, far better athlete than Aaron Rodgers will ever be athletically. I mean, not better quarterback,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm taking a 26-year-old for $60 million, and I'm probably getting more than 1 year out of him too. If I'm giving my first round picks up,
You might be able to give him less than 60.
Yeah, I'm probably giving him 50. I'd even guarantee it at that point.
Right.
If I'm already making stupid decisions, I might as well just give him the fully guaranteed contract. Of course, now Cleveland and the Jets can sit in their own stool at that point because the rest of the league them out. But it's we're looking at a point here where Aaron Rodgers. I can't imagine a world where he's fetching 2 first-round picks. He may get 1. And like I said, it would have to be that they're able to get that cap number down for the Jets to still be able to bring in other players. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I tried to break free from Brett Favre's shadow, but now 15 years later, I'm going to the exact same place he went.
To be fair, Jets Brett Favre, I remember the Vikings way more than I remember Jets Brett Favre, if we're being honest.
Right, but he got traded to the Jets and then retired, and then because he retired, the Jets just released his contract, and then he was able to go to the Minnesota Vikings.
I also don't believe. I don't mean to disrespectfully. I don't believe Diana Rossini either. I've never thought that she was an insider. Like that's who's reporting this. That like, I don't buy it.
Well, the problem is if you're an ESPN insider, you're either Adam Schefter and you're making stuff up, or I don't know what Diana Rossini said, but like,
I think she's the one who actually said that the Jets believe they're going to get him.
I think the Jets believe they're going to get him. What other team is actually interested publicly?
That's the thing. I don't even think the Colts. I think the Colts are so tired of seeing quarterbacks, them trying to improve quarterbacks. I don't think Colts are going to get him either.
I mean, the only other teams that make sense, like you said, like, okay, he might get traded to the Colts, but the Colts aren't giving up the 3rd pick or the 4th pick. I don't think they're giving up the 4th.
And Buccaneers are rebuilding.
Buccaneers are $50 million over the cap.
I mean, thanks a lot, Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Brady was only signed for $15 million last year, but all the guys he brought in, I mean, he got them all paid. Point being is that the only teams that are quarterback needy are the ones who are going to be drafting one in the draft. And then the other ones are like you said, the 49ers, he's already ruled out. So you're really, it's just the Jets. So far, it's just the Jets. I mean, unless the Ravens just make a 1-for-1 Lamar for.
Oh, he's dumb. But unless you go to the Seahawks, I don't know.
They just signed Geno, and they're probably going to draft another quarterback.
Fair enough. Brady's going to his 49ers. Dolphins are staying retired. I'm going to go staying retired. It's not happening.
I know that's what you want, and I
don't care anymore. I think it's dumb that people are saying rumor has it. Okay, who cares? It's not happening.
But this is the stuff that I'm talking about. It's like the off season. We just start. I feel like somebody's just having dreams and being like, "Oh, sources say." Well, what's the source? Well, I had a dream last night.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's staying retired too. Yeah. But of course, the fan and me. I don't even. The thing is, like, if he goes to either of those 2 teams, I don't even think I can root for him.
Dolphin. That's the thing. Like, it's the same thing. Like the Buccaneers, you can. I don't, but people can still brush it off as, oh, see, he won with 2 teams. If you go to another team to stack the decks, now the Buccaneers looks even worse than what it is.
Yeah, well, I just mean like
because now he's just stacking the deck everywhere and just winning for no reason.
Up with were the Patriots and the Bucs, so it worked out perfectly that those were his 2 destinations.
Right.
San Francisco, I would be in his corner because
he's from there.
Well, that I understand the logic. I also really kind of want to see this San Francisco team get over the hump ever since the Jimmy G Super Bowl. I really
the one throw, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they could have been Super Bowl champions. Anyways, I kind of want to see that iteration of Kyle Shanahan. I kind of want to see Kyle Shanahan get one. The Dolphins, I'm out.
People need to stop acting like it's all up to Tua's health, and I don't think Tua's just going to quit because he had a couple concussions. I'm sorry.
Was like 8-2 this year or something like that?
And he was going off the walls when it came to stats too.
Yeah, I mean, Tua was fine when he was healthy, and I know it's health is always going to be the biggest situation, but your option is to what do you do with Tua? So your option is to bring in a 46-year-old quarterback?
Makes no sense.
Exactly. Look, I mean, I love Brady to death as much as the next guy. You know that more than anybody, but some things just really don't make sense.
One more thing here. 49ers got 7 free what? They're free draft picks, compensatory, whatever. They're free. They're 7 free draft picks. And the criteria here is they got rid of a black person or a person of minority, whatever that means anymore. And they got promoted. So like, you didn't promote them within the organization. I'm just confused on how this. I'm not confused. I think it's stupid. You're telling me that we now have to spoon feed minority people? You're basically telling me they're not worth it. That's what you're doing. If the NFL is going to tell me that I can get a free draft pick by just making sure this minority does well, yeah, I'm going to do it. But it also shows you, well, then they just get a free pass to the big leagues. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I get the intention that's there, and I understand, the equity they're trying to instill in this. The problem is it does lead to a situation where, if you have two candidates who are equal, or even if you have a candidate who happens to be, not a minority, who is above, say Serbian. If you have Nikola Jokic applying defensive coordinator job, but if you have a candidate who is better, but the other candidate is a minority, why not take a flyer on the minority? Because if that person gets a head coaching job or a general manager job, you're going to get a free pick out of it. It's a low risk, high reward situation here. Now, to be fair, I mean, Robert Saleh is doing a pretty good job.
Right, the 49ers are great as an organization. We know they're going to breed greatness.
But like all year, all year, the whole situation with, Mike McDaniel's, yeah, he's mixed, but he's white. He's basically white. Well, you got a free pick for Mike McDaniel being a half minority. Mm-hmm. And, D'Amico Ryans, of course, we think he's going to be okay in Texas, in Houston.
That'd be great.
I just, it's taking, I don't know how to explain. It's a problematic situation because, every year we have these same situations. Oh, not enough black head coaches are hired. Is that what the criteria is for being, excellent in your field? Just, being black? Or
you said it best, Aaron, to start the show. We're dumbing down sports to be just race. Like whatever happened to great athletes and great minds.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we look at, the NBA is however much percent African American. We look at the NFL, which is like 70+% African American. But you know what? We don't have an issue with it because they are the best athletes.
Yep.
Best coaches or the best GMs or assistants. And I'm not saying everything. I mean, Ozzie Newsome, an incredible general manager. And Ron Carthon might become really good at Tennessee. He's definitely got his work cut out for him, especially if he's coming in looking to trade Derrick Henry. Like
Malik Willis.
We take the best player. We take the best person for the job. And if that person happens to be a minority, or if that person happens to not be a minority, so be it.
But who cares?
But when you add an incentive for the thing is like the good thing that comes out of it is like, the Jets, the Dolphins, and these other teams, they don't get any benefit to hiring guys like McDaniel and Saleh. The team that groomed them gets the benefit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the point?
So you really didn't solve anything, because if we get another coaching cycle that comes and goes, well, all the teams that had a chance to hire a black head coach, there's no incentive for them to do it. So you put the incentive on the other side. It seems a little backwards now.
Counterproductive, yeah.
Yeah. Now you're saying, well, I need to hire a bunch of minority assistant coaches. just on the off chance they may get head coaching jobs. So I don't know.
For those wondering, I'm 6'6" and he's like 6'1".
I am I'm 6'2", but yeah, I mean, I get where the intent. It came from a place of good intentions. It's just a little backwards, but at the same time, it also doesn't. It also dumbs down the best man for the job thing. Like I said, I said on Twitter, I said, look, if we're gonna have a rule in place like this, then I want a rule in place that we need to have equity and equality for starting white cornerbacks.
And that's CORNER, not QUARTER.
Correct. Cornerbacks. I haven't seen a white cornerback since Jason Sehorn.
How about a white linebacker besides Luke Kuechly?
I feel underrepresented at the cornerback position.
I'm very offended right now.
Good. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being a little offended to start your day.
That's what they tell me.
That's going to do it here for us. What a wild show. A frenzy just doesn't. That's just such a word that I don't even know if that does the show justice.
Fiasco? I don't know.
Old man yells at cloud, get off my lawn. Enjoy your weekend. XFL, NFL, all that stuff, or not NFL, NLL, all that stuff going on. Of course, make sure you check out Mike's show, The Daily Dive, Monday through Friday as well. But until the next AM Drive, for Michael Carvelis, I'm Aaron Crouch saying support the sponsors, shops, shows, and YouTubes at MikeandAaronDrive.com. And of course, we'll see you next week.
Drive safe.